Welcome to another episode of Animator Interviews. My name is Evan Vernon. I'm a contributor at Animation for Adults, as well as Animation Nights New York, also known as ANNY. For those new to ANNY, we are a monthly screening event and yearly festival that celebrates the very best in animation talent. Our artists come from all across the globe, and many have had their work featured at Cannes, Annecy, and other prominent festivals. We receive thousands of submissions each year, and each year we screen just 20 at our annual Best of Fest. Today we're discussing one of those 20. Daria Kashcheeva is with me now. Born in Tajikistan, Daria moved to the Czech Republic to study animation and is currently finishing her MA at the FAMU school in Prague. Daria's stop-motion short, Daughter, was chosen by our jury as a Best of Fest winner film. True to its name, the film traces the bond between a father and daughter that becomes strained by one small memory. Years pass as the two drift apart, but when the father falls ill, his sickness forces the daughter to take a closer look at their past, learning that memories, however vivid or convincing, are not always what they seem. Since its release in 2019, Daughter has taken the animation world by storm. It was nominated for an Oscar, won over 38 festival awards, and now is a winner film at ANNY Best of Fest. Today, Daria has kindly agreed to discuss Daughter and chat a bit about her career. Today's interview is also public and open to audience questions. We will address all of those as they come in. Daria, thanks for coming. To kick things off, tell us your story. What inspired you to become an animator?
Yeah, I started to make animation, or kind of started to be interested in animation quite late, when I was maybe 26. And before that, I was a musician and sound designer. So I was not kind of animator who was born with pencil and drew all the life, you know. So I have quite a big background as a sound designer mostly. And after I graduated my university as a sound designer, I worked in theater, and I made some sound for some live action and animation films. So I met animators, and I was super inspired by this world. I went to the studio, and it was so interesting, like, this clay and stuff, and the light and layers and different objects. And it was also kind of a moment when I was not so happy maybe with my profession as a sound designer, when you just have to realize someone's vision. And I maybe felt that I lack creativity in this profession. So everything came together. And also with my husband, we wanted to try to go to Europe, because actually I was born in Russia. So we wanted to go to Europe, maybe to study there. So everything kind of come together, and we went to Czech Republic, to Prague, to this famous school FAMU in Prague. And my husband entered editing department, and I entered animation department. And that was the moment which really changed my life. And it was really hard in the beginning, because I never draw before, and I really couldn't draw good. I struggled a lot with this, but I really felt this is something what I really enjoy to do, even though it is hard. But it was really something different for me, different world. And then while I was studying, I kind of understood that I'm not good in drawing, but I really like to work with objects, to touch things, to make things by my hands, to work with camera, with light. So yeah, this is how it became.
Yeah, it's interesting. We talk to some artists who go directly into animation as a career, but we also talk to artists who have had kind of more of this winding road journey, where they start in one particular place, whether it's in the film industry or not, and eventually find their voice. And it sounds like for you, animation was kind of freeing in the sense that it allowed you to fully express yourself as an artist in ways that sound really couldn't.
Yeah, and also I think my kind of musical education or maybe my experiences with music also helped me as an animator and filmmaker,
Sure.
because feeling of the rhythm, feeling of the time is really good, like to for filming, not for just for editing, but also for timing in animation and the stuff. So yeah, it was kind of long way to filmmaking, but I'm here as a
Yeah.
filmmaker, and it's really something what really fulfill me, even though sometimes I struggle a lot, I don't know, with writing script and stuff, but it is good struggling, like enjoyable strugglings.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Daria. Well, it's certainly paid off for you. For those who don't know, I'm not sure that I've quite done the film justice. Daughter, since its release in 2019, it's won the Cristal Award at Annecy. It was nominated for a Best Animated Short Film at the Academy Awards. It won a student Oscar, I think, and has
Yeah.
over 38 accolades to its name. So this is not a small fry film. This is a heavy hitter. And it truly is a pleasure to talk about it with you. Daria, give us some background on Daughter. What inspired this story?
Actually, it was kind of my psychotherapy film for me, self-psychotherapy, because I actually worked with my own remembers, how I remember my childhood and my memories from my early childhood, and my memories about my relationships with my parents. And actually, it was kind of going back to my childhood and thinking about stuff, and thinking about how it influenced me as an adult. So it was inspired by a small, actually stupid situation in my childhood, when maybe my parents didn't paid enough attention to me, not because they don't love me, but because adults have their own stuff, children have their own stuff, and that's why kind of misunderstanding happens. And so it was interesting for me to think about this in this way, and actually how small stupid misunderstanding could really change the relationships between people, and influence their behavior. So yeah, it is not kind of my biographical film, but was inspired by the
Yeah,
situation in my childhood. And I think each of us has these small stupid situations, because
sure.
parents couldn't pay attention to children all the time, and this just happens, it is just relationships, and it is normal. so
Yeah.
so yeah, it was really great to think about this, because maybe in the beginning, when I started to work on the script, I felt kind of maybe a bit sad about the situation, but then I understood that it is totally normal, like as these situations happens. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and for those listening in, if you haven't seen Daughter, it explores the kind of strained relationship between a young girl growing up and her father, who clearly loves her, but has a lot of responsibilities that he has to attend to too, and that, as Daria has already explained, creates a bit of a rift between the two of them. Yeah, Daria, it's interesting how memory, I guess, is kind of unreliable in this film. You know, you've already hinted at this, but it's very clear that the father loves his daughter, and when she runs up to hug him at the beginning, and he's unable to pay attention to her, what she perceives as just this disinterest is really just him trying to finish cooking dinner, which is
Yeah.
something that maybe she doesn't fully process. You convey that disconnect really well. Tell us a little bit about the style for the film. It's a stop motion film. It's really kind of groundbreaking in with how you shot it. I understand you kind of engineered your this new kind of handheld camera technique. Can you
Yeah.
tell us a bit about that and maybe the character design too?
Yeah, actually, the I found the way how to kind of simulate this handheld camera movement in animation, because sometimes I have a question if I really had the camera in my hand. No, it is impossible, of course. If you make animation, it is shaking a lot. So I had my camera on the track and the camera mount, and I moved the camera frame by frame. And actually, I was inspired by documentary films, by films in Dogma style, Lars von Trier's and Winterberg's films. So, and why I decided to use this style, I was thinking that the story, it is kind of quite intimate story between two people. And this kind of style of when you are just watching them, following them, I mean, as a viewer, you just follow this story without kind of how to say, in this documentary style. It really helps you to just to follow the emotions and not to be kind of forced in the story. So yeah, I just found that this style could really work for this story, and I imagined that kind of cinematographer is the next character of the story, kind of cinematographer who is in the story and who doesn't know what is going to happen next. And that's why I consciously sometimes delayed with the camera movement, when sometimes, I don't know, daughter go out from the scene, the cinematographer is delayed like it is in a documentary film. So everything is kind of spontaneously, but it was planned a lot, and it was really animated frame by frame. So the same is this kind of documentary and kind of dirty, imperfect style. I also used in the character designs. So I wanted to make it dirty and imperfect, and the same it is with the sound. I also tried to make it more documentary and with kind of sharp cuts, not so maybe smooth, and yeah, so the idea was to make it more close to real life, which is not perfect. So relationships are not perfect. Our life sometimes is not so beautiful, so the feelings which we feel sometimes are not so kind of feelings which we would like to feel. So yeah. So this was the kind of aesthetic of all the films: documentary, spontaneous, and imperfect, dirty.
Yeah. You've said it so well, Daria, but just to reiterate, it's those imperfections that make the story more human and believable.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talk about the cinematographer, and I guess by extension, the audience kind of being an observer who's taking all these events in as if they were real events. Yeah. Yeah, there's a human element in this that just can't be missed. And, it's so interesting you cite Lars von Trier and these very famous Dogma filmmakers as inspirations. There's the circulating expression in animation that it is a medium, not a genre. And you
Exactly.
yeah, you're representing that quite well with your work. I mean, Daughter is cinema, just like Lars von Trier films are cinema.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So big words.
Well, no, it's true. It's true. What you've created here is truly a work of art, and you've already told us why, Daria, in your own words. So thank you so much. I know
Yeah,
we're getting
I
Go
really
ahead.
like, as you say, that animation is just a medium. It is
Yes.
just an instrument which you use in genre of, I don't know, comedy or drama or
Yeah.
whatever, documentary. So I really try to approach animation just an instrument, just something
Yes.
which give me maybe more freedom to create something new, as it is kind of in real life, in live action movies. Sometimes it is not possible to make any it is just you use the reality, but animation give you more opportunities to create this world you have in your head. But it is just a medium, and I really like how you define it, and I really like it.
Well, I think it goes without saying that you're a gifted artist, Daria, and you're in your 30s. You have plenty of filmmaking ahead of you. Where do you see yourself in the future in a perfect world?
um Actually, I'm still a student now, so I'm finishing my school. I'm finishing my master program, and now I'm working on my next movie. It is going to be a short animated film, and I'm going to work with actors now, like to make it pixelated.
Uh-huh.
Um, and in future, I don't know, like. I would like to have a future film, because as I feel like Daughter is 15 minutes long and my next film is 25 minutes long. So I'm not kind of filmmaker who makes short stuff, you know. There are a lot of filmmakers who are really good in short time, but I feel I maybe would try to make a feature film, or maybe go this way. But yeah, I will see. Like I would like to be independent director, and in Europe it is quite possible. There are much more possibilities than in America, as I know. So kind of film funds work here, collaboration between countries, kind of co-production work here. So I hope it would be possible, and I hope people really will go back to cinemas again, as now it is kind of tough situation and we don't see a lot of viewers in cinemas, but I hope it will change soon.
Yes.
So yeah, this is kind of like this. And I'm also quite interested in psychological and psychotherapical stuff. So the next film I'm working on is also it is about kind of a lot of psychology and psychotherapy there, and this is kind of a theme which I'm interested in, and I think I will go this direction in my next films.
Well, I think it goes without saying that you have some great things coming your way, and we hope that you get all the support that you deserve to make those
Oh
films
yeah,
a reality. Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Daria. It's really been a pleasure. For all those listening in, if you'd like to continue following Daria, we will post this interview as a podcast. And be sure to include all of her pertinent social media handles in the description, so you can continue to follow her and her work. But Daria, once again, thank you so much for sharing Daughter with us and sharing your time. We know that you're busy. Hope to see you at Best of Fest in the future, but good luck to you.
Thank you so much.